In the next 7 days, something is going to change for you. And by the end of this video, you are going to understand exactly what that change looks like, where it will show up, and why it is already in motion before you even take a single deliberate step. If you are a Scorpio, you already know that your life tends to move in waves. Long stretches of quiet that suddenly surge with intensity, periods of stillness followed by profound movement. This is one of those moments of movement. Something is lifting, something is reorganizing, and the 7 days ahead are not ordinary days. They are the kind of days that, when you look back on them, you will recognize as the start of something entirely new. There are 11 shifts you are going to notice, some so subtle you might almost miss them, others so clear they will stop you in your tracks. Every single one of them matters. Every single one is a piece of the larger story that is beginning to unfold for you right now. So stay with me through every shift, because the full picture only reveals itself when you see them all together. Your 7 days start here. Shift 1. The first thing you are going to notice is a change in your breathing. This is not a metaphor, it is literal. Over the next 7 days, there will be moments when you become aware, in a way that is suddenly different and almost surprising, that you are breathing more fully than you have been. Your chest feels less compressed. Your shoulders sit slightly lower than they have been sitting. Something that has been held tight in your body begins, in these quiet moments, to soften. And when that softening happens, a kind of clarity washes in along with the air. A clarity that is not about solving anything, but simply about being present in a way that has felt out of reach for a while. For Scorpio, the body holds things that the mind has not yet processed. You carry your experiences physically, in tension, in tightness, in the way you sometimes brace yourself even in the absence of any immediate threat. This physical holding is not a weakness. It is, in fact, the echo of your remarkable emotional depth. When things affect you, they affect you at every level, including the cellular, the muscular, the structural. And so when something begins to shift for you at a soul level, the body registers it first. What is happening physically over the next 7 days is a gentle unwinding. The tight places are beginning to release, not all at once but gradually, as if some inner hand has finally loosened its grip on something it has been holding for far too long. You may notice this in the morning before you are fully awake, in that soft liminal space between sleep and waking where the guard is down and the body can relax into something more honest. You may notice it in the evening, when the demands of the day have finally quieted and you let yourself simply sit and breathe and be. Pay attention to these moments of physical softening. They are not trivial. They are telling you something important, that the inner work you have been doing, the growing and the processing and the quiet reckoning with yourself, is having an effect. The body is responding. The body is saying, yes, something is changing. Something is loosening. Something that has been compressed is finally beginning to expand. Over the next 7 days, this shift in your breathing, this physical softening, will deepen. And with it, an ease will begin to settle into your days that has been absent for a while. Do not take it for granted. Let it in. Let it teach you what it feels like to move through your life without bracing. Shift 2. There is a shift coming in your inner voice, in the way you speak to yourself in the privacy of your own mind, and it is one of the most significant changes the next 7 days will bring. You have been, if you are honest with yourself, harder on yourself lately than the situation has called for. Not cruelly, not dramatically, but in that persistent background way that Scorpio sometimes lives with, the quiet critic that sits just behind the conscious mind and evaluates, and finds lacking, and asks why you are not further along, why things have not come together yet, why certain dreams remain stubbornly out of reach. That voice has been louder than it needs to be. And over the next 7 days, it is going to quiet down. This quieting does not happen because you have solved everything or achieved everything or figured out all the pieces. It happens because something in you is shifting at a foundational level, a shift in your relationship with yourself, a shift in the basic stance you take toward your own life and your own worth. Scorpio, for all your extraordinary strength and depth, can carry a particular burden. The burden of feeling that you are never quite enough until you have proven something. Proven your resilience. Proven your capability. Proven that you can handle whatever life brings without flinching. And that constant need to prove yourself to yourself is exhausting. It is quietly depleting. And it is beginning to lift. Over the next 7 days, watch for moments when the inner critic says something familiar and harsh, and then notice what follows. In the past, you might have simply accepted the criticism or argued with it or felt deflated by it. Now you will begin to notice something new. A quiet counter voice that arrives without effort, that says something more measured and honest and kind. A voice that says you are doing enough, or that says this is hard and you are handling it, or that simply refuses to agree with the harshest version of what the inner critic has been claiming. That counter voice is not wishful thinking. It is not denial. It is the beginning of a more accurate and more compassionate relationship with yourself. One that Scorpio is fully capable of, but sometimes has difficulty allowing. You are, after all, a sign that holds yourself to extraordinary standards. And those standards are part of your greatness. But greatness does not require cruelty toward yourself. You can be demanding and kind at the same time. You can have high expectations and also give yourself grace in the process of meeting them. This shift in your inner voice over the next 7 days is the beginning of that balance finding its natural equilibrium within you. If what you're hearing feels accurate, imagine what could happen if you applied this energy intentionally for 21 consecutive days. That's exactly what the 21-day program in the pinned comment is built for. Daily guidance, focused direction, and real momentum. If you're tired of staying in the same cycle, this is your structure. Shift 3. Connections are going to feel different over the next 7 days. Not all of them. Not the surface-level ones, the polite acquaintanceships and the routine social exchanges. Those will likely stay the same. But the connections that matter, the ones that run deeper and carry more weight, those are going to shift in a way you will feel clearly. There will be moments of genuine contact. Real, unguarded, heart-level contact that catch you by surprise. Someone you know, perhaps someone you have known for a long time, will say something that lands differently than words usually do. Not because they have changed, but because you have changed. Because you are more open to being touched by what is real and true in the people around you. For Scorpio, the capacity for deep connection is immense, perhaps the deepest of any sign in the cycle. But that capacity is often held behind a layer of protection, and reasonably so. You have opened yourself fully before and been hurt by that openness. You have trusted and been let down. You have given generously of yourself and not always had that generosity met with equal care. And so you learned, as many Scorpios do, to open in stages. To let people in gradually, testing for safety, checking for trustworthiness before allowing access to the deeper rooms. Over the next 7 days, however, something about that guardedness is going to ease. Not because the people around you have necessarily proven themselves in new ways, but because you are choosing, at some level, to take the risk of connection more willingly than you have been. Something in you is softening toward other people. Something is becoming more patient, more generous, more willing to assume good faith. And this shift in stance, this opening toward rather than bracing against, will change the quality of your interactions in ways that will surprise and perhaps even move you. Watch for the moments when someone reaches toward you, and you choose to meet them instead of stepping back. Watch for the moments when you share something true instead of something safe. Watch for the conversations that go deeper than you planned, the ones that leave you feeling more alive and more connected than you expected. These are not accidents. They are the natural result of the shift that is happening in you. A shift toward more genuine presence in your relationships, more willingness to be known, more trust in the possibility that connection can be both real and safe. Shift 4. Your decision-making is about to change, and this shift will be one of the most practically significant ones in the next 7 days. Scorpio tends toward one of two extremes when it comes to making choices. Either the long, careful, exhaustive deliberation that leaves no stone unturned and no possibility unexamined, or the sudden, almost instantaneous certainty that bypasses deliberation entirely and moves straight to action. Both have their place. Both serve you in different circumstances. But lately, the deliberation has been winning by a wide margin, and with it has come a particular kind of paralysis, the paralysis of someone who is thinking too much, analyzing too much, and trusting themselves too little. Over the next 7 days, this shifts. You will find yourself making decisions with a clarity and ease that has been absent for a while. Not impulsive decisions, not reckless ones, but genuinely clear ones. Ones where you know, without having to think about it for 3 more days, what the right answer is. Where your gut and your logic align in a way that feels settled rather than conflicted. This clarity is going to feel like a relief. It is going to feel like coming up for air after a long time underwater, where every decision felt murky and every choice felt like it might be wrong. The reason for this shift is simple, though its effects are profound. Something inside you has been quietly sorting through the confusion of recent months, weighing and evaluating and gradually arriving at a clearer sense of what you truly want and what you truly need. That sorting process was invisible, it was happening in the background while you went about your daily life. But now it is complete or very nearly so. And the result is that when choices present themselves over the next 7 days, you will find that you know what to do. You will feel it, and then your thinking will confirm it, and then you will act. Cleanly, clearly, with conviction. Shift 5. Over the next 7 days, a particular quality of patience is going to arrive for you. Not the forced, gritted teeth patience of someone waiting for something they are afraid will never come, but a genuine, rooted, calm patience that feels more like trust than endurance. This is a significant shift for Scorpio, because you are not naturally inclined toward waiting. You are a sign of intensity and of depth, and when you want something, you want it now, or at least you want to be actively working toward it right now. The feeling of waiting without doing can feel intolerable, but over the next 7 days, something is going to soften in that intolerance. You are going to find yourself, in moments that would previously have felt frustrating or urgent, able to simply be with the waiting, able to trust that what is yours is coming, and that the timing is not something to fight but something to work with. This does not mean passivity. Scorpio and genuine trust is not passive. It is still engaged, still purposeful, still moving. But it moves without the grinding urgency, without the fear that every moment of delay is a moment of loss. This patient quality will show up in small ways at first, in how you respond when something takes longer than expected, in how you feel when a plan does not unfold on your preferred timeline, in how you relate to the parts of your life that are still unresolved. Watch for the moments when you are able to breathe through frustration instead of being consumed by it. Watch for the moments when you say to yourself in honest and unforced terms, "It is coming," and actually believe it. Those moments are the shift, and they are building something real. Some people watch, others transform. If you want to be in the second group, the 21-day guide in the pinned comment gives you a clear step-by-step process aligned with your sign. This isn't about waiting, it's about moving. Shift 6. Something creative is returning to you. Maybe it was something you set aside a long time ago, a practice you let fall away under the weight of more urgent things. Maybe it was never something you thought of as creative, but is actually a deeply expressive part of how you engage with the world. Maybe it is something entirely new, something that has been quietly growing interest in you without your quite realizing it. Whatever form it takes, the next 7 days are going to bring a renewed and genuine desire to create something, to make something, to express something, to bring something that exists only inside you into the world in some tangible form. Scorpio carries a depth of inner life that constantly needs an outlet. When that outlet is missing, when the pressure of the unspoken builds without a way to release, it shows up as tension, as frustration, as that vague sense of being stuck that does not quite have an identifiable cause. What you have been experiencing lately, some of that stuck feeling, is in part the creative pressure building without a channel. Over the next 7 days, that channel begins to open again. Do not judge what wants to come out. Do not evaluate it as it arrives. Do not compare it to some standard of what is good or worthy. Simply let it emerge. Write or draw or sing or cook something new, or arrange your space differently, or find words for something you have been feeling. The specific form of the creative expression matters less than the act of expression itself. What matters is that something inside you, something rich and complex and fully your own, finds its way out. The relief of that expression will surprise you, and the energy it releases will carry you further into the next 7 days with a lightness you have been missing. Shift 7. Your sense of purpose is about to sharpen. This might be the single most important shift of the 7 days because purpose is the thing that organizes everything else, the thing that makes the small decisions simple and the large ones possible. For a period of time, you have been operating without a fully clear sense of it. Not directionless, exactly. Scorpio is never truly directionless, but perhaps without the crystalline clarity of knowing exactly what you are here to do, exactly what matters most, exactly where your extraordinary energy and capacity for depth are most meant to be applied. Over the next 7 days, that clarity is going to arrive, not necessarily as a dramatic revelation, though for some Scorpios it may feel like one. More likely it will come as a series of quiet moments where something simply clicks, where something you have been circling around for months suddenly presents its center, and you see it clearly, and you know. This clarity will not come from outside. No one will hand it to you, and you will not read it in a book or find it in someone else's opinion. It will come from the same place that Scorpio's most important truths always come from within, from the deepest layer of your own knowing, from the part of you that has always understood, even when the rest of you was confused. Pay special attention to the moments over the next 7 days when something feels genuinely right. Not comfortable, not safe, not easy, but right. That feeling of rightness is the signal of purpose touching down in ordinary life. Follow it even in small ways. Even one step toward what feels right, taken in honest alignment with what matters most to you, is a confirmation to your deepest self that you are listening and that you trust what you hear. Shift 8. A healing is going to deepen over the next 7 days. Not necessarily one you initiated consciously, and possibly not one you can point to with any precision. But a healing nonetheless, the quiet, ongoing kind that happens beneath the surface of ordinary life, in the spaces between moments, in the sleep between days. For Scorpio, healing is never a simple or straightforward process. It is thorough, goes all the way down. And when it happens at every level simultaneously: body, mind, spirit, the emotional layer, the relational layer, the layer of old stories and old wounds and old patterns that took up so much space for so long. You have been healing for a while, perhaps longer than you have realized. The process started months ago, possibly even longer back than that, when something significant happened and you began, in your characteristic way, the long, deep dive into its meaning and its aftermath. You have been doing the inner work. Maybe not perfectly, maybe not always with the full support you deserved, but you have been doing it. And over the next 7 days, that work is going to arrive at a milestone, not an ending, but a significant forward movement. A layer is going to lift. Something that has been heavy is going to become lighter. And you will feel it, not necessarily as a dramatic moment of release, but as a gradual and unmistakable brightening. This is the beginning of a new phase for you. Not just in the healing, but in your life overall. Because the healing is what has been clearing the path. It has been making space, removing the old debris, allowing the ground beneath you to become solid and trustworthy again. The next 7 days will show you how much ground you have actually gained. It will show you how far you have come. And that recognition, that honest acknowledgement of your own progress, is itself a healing. It is what Scorpio most needs right now and most deserves. Shift 9. Over the next 7 days, certain truths about your own life are going to become clear in a way they have not been before. Not truths from outside. Not other people's judgments or society's definitions of what your life should look like. Your truths. The ones that only you can see, only you can know, only you can speak with full authority. These truths have been forming for a while, quietly and steadily, in the background of your conscious awareness. And now they are ready to surface. You may find yourself arriving at conclusions you had been approaching but not quite reaching. About a relationship, what it is and what it is not, what it offers and what it cannot give you, where it is going or where it has already arrived. About your own direction, what you are moving toward, what feels genuinely aligned with who you are becoming, what you have outgrown and are ready to release. About yourself, your needs, your limits, your gifts, your deepest desires, the things that make your life feel meaningful and the things that drain it of meaning. For Scorpio, truth is not always comfortable, but it is always ultimately freeing. When you know a truth clearly, you can act in alignment with it. When you do not know it, or when you know it but are not yet ready to admit it, you are subject to it without being able to respond to it. The shift of the next 7 days is a shift toward knowing. Toward the clear-eyed, full-hearted honesty with yourself that is one of Scorpio's greatest and most hard-won capacities. Trust what you see. Trust what you know. The truth that is surfacing is not there to harm you. It is there to set the next chapter in motion. Shift 10. Your relationship with rest is going to change. Over the next 7 days, you are going to begin to understand, perhaps more deeply than ever before, the difference between rest that restores and rest that merely passes time. For Scorpio, this distinction matters enormously. You carry so much. You process so deeply. Your inner life is so active that the ordinary surface-level rest, the scrolling, the background noise, the half-present winding down, does not actually restore you. It just occupies you while the real restoration fails to happen. What you are moving toward over the next 7 days is a relationship with genuine rest. The kind that comes from actual stillness, from allowing your mind to quiet rather than simply redirecting it, from sleep that is deep and uninterrupted, from time in nature, if that is available to you, where something about the scale of the natural world helps your own concerns settle into their proper proportion, from creative engagement that empties the pressure inside you in a productive way, from honest conversation that releases what has been held rather than adding to the accumulation. As you enter into this more genuine rest over the next 7 days, you will notice something remarkable. You are more capable than you thought. Not because you were lacking before, but because you were running on less fuel than you realized. When your reserves begin to genuinely fill, when the restoration is real, what you are capable of expands accordingly. Your clarity increases. Your patience deepens. Your creativity flows more freely. Your connection with others becomes more natural and more nourishing. All because you are finally properly resting. This is not a small shift. It is the foundation on which everything else in the next 7 days is building. Shift 11. The final shift of the next 7 days is perhaps the most difficult to describe, because it is not about anything that happens in the outer world. It is about something that happens in your relationship with your own future. Specifically, it is about hope, about the genuine, grounded, clear-eyed kind of hope that is not the same as wishful thinking and not the same as optimism that ignores reality. It is the hope that comes from knowing yourself deeply and trusting that the same depth that got you through what came before will carry you through what is coming next. For Scorpio, hope is not a passive feeling. It is an active orientation. It is the decision to remain engaged with life even when life is hard, to remain open to the good that is possible even when the evidence for it is not yet fully in, to remain committed to becoming who you are capable of being, even when the process of becoming is demanding and slow and sometimes painful. This kind of hope is earned, and you have earned it. Over the next 7 days, this hope is going to consolidate. It is going to move from a feeling you have in your best moments to something more permanent, more structural. A foundation you can stand on rather than a weather pattern you simply pass through. You will find yourself thinking about your future with a steadiness and a genuine positive expectation that has been intermittent lately, but is now becoming more consistent. You will find yourself making small plans with confidence, not with the fear that they will fall apart, but with the reasonable belief that they will unfold. You will find yourself in quiet moments, genuinely looking forward to what is coming for you. You have 2 options after this video: close it and hope things shift, or decide that the next 21 days will be different. If you choose the second, the structured 21-day transformation aligned with your sign is waiting in the pinned comment. The energy is already moving, the only question is whether you are. That hope is not an illusion. It is an accurate reading of where you are. Something genuinely good is taking shape in your life right now. Something that your next 7 days will help you see more clearly. All 11 shifts are pointing toward it. All 11 are part of the same larger movement. And that movement is yours, Scorpio. Let it carry you forward.